Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into something fascinating, but yes, sometimes pretty confusing too. Manifestation and affirmations.
Definitely. Lots of buzzwords out there.
Totally. So our mission for you listening is to kind of cut through that noise, get past the hype, and really look at the core mechanics based on these sources you've shared. We want to pull out some insights you can actually use.
Exactly. The goal is to understand how these tools are supposed to work and, how you might use them to actively shape your own reality. We'll touch on something interesting, this common idea that you absolutely have to believe affirmations 100%.
Oh yeah, you hear that everywhere.
Right. Well, the sources offer a, let's say, more nuanced view on that. It's not quite so black and white.
Okay, intriguing. Let's unpack this then, starting with the basics. What exactly is manifestation, according to these sources, beyond just wanting something badly?
Well, the way it's framed here is choosing the reality you want to experience, and then this is key actively attracting opportunities that line up with that reality. And a big distinction they make is that this isn't like, praying to a higher power or asking some external force for help.
Right, so it's not outsourced.
No, not at all. It's presented as very much self-driven, an internal act, almost more of a fundamental mindset shift.
That really changes the power dynamic then, doesn't it? It sounds like it
Yeah.
puts everything inside you.
Precisely. The power is totally inward. It's about selecting from, well, infinite possible realities, apparently, and then embodying the person who lives that chosen path. So it's about cultivating inner will, confidence, not just sitting back and waiting.
Less waiting, more being. I like that.
Yeah, that sums it up nicely. And the mechanism behind this, as described in the sources, is pretty interesting. They talk about consciousness with a capital C as the one and only reality. And this consciousness is divided into two parts: the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious is personal selective. It's called the realm of effect. And interestingly, described metaphorically as male.
Right. And the subconscious.
That's impersonal, non-selective. It's the realm of cause. And described as female.
So the conscious mind, the male part, comes up with the ideas.
Yeah, it selects.
And then it impresses those ideas onto the subconscious, the female aspect, which receives them and gives them form, makes them real.
That's the model presented. The conscious mind directs, chooses the script, the effect you want. The subconscious is like this incredibly powerful, non-judgmental producer that just takes the script and makes the movie without questioning the script itself.
Okay, so understanding that split is key to knowing where your creative power lies. It's
Yeah.
in the conscious direction and the subconscious creation.
Exactly. Your conscious mind is the chooser, the director. Your subconscious is the powerhouse that makes it happen.
Now, this part seems vital. Feeling is the one and only medium through which ideas get to the subconscious. What does that really mean in practice?
It means an idea just stays an idea, kind of floating around in the conscious mind until it's genuinely felt. And once it is felt, and this is crucial whether that feeling is good or bad, positive or negative, the subconscious accepts it and has to express it in your reality. It doesn't filter based on desirability.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
controlling your feelings isn't about suppression then, like bottling things up.
No, not suppression. The sources talk about discipline. Disciplining yourself to consciously entertain only those feelings that actually contribute to the happiness you want.
Because every feeling makes an impression.
Every single one. And unless you counteract a negative feeling with a more powerful opposite feeling, the original one will get expressed. The dominant feeling always wins out.
Which is why they say I am healthy is stronger than I will be healthy.
Exactly. I will be implies you aren't right now. It feels like lack. To make a wish real, you have to feel it as a state that is already true now.
And the implications here are quite serious according to these sources. They link emotional disturbances, especially suppressed stuff, directly to disease. Not just in the body, but in your environment too.
Yeah, and dwelling on regret or failure is also pinpointed as leading to, well, disease in a broader sense, ill health, things not working out.
It's a stark warning.
It really is, because all creation, they argue, happens in the subconscious. It takes what the conscious mind feels is true and just objectifies it, makes it real outside you, exactly as it was felt inside. The subconscious, they say, never fails to express that which has been impressed upon it. It shapes your world based on those feelings.
I found that analogy really striking too. The relationship between conscious and subconscious isn't master-servant, but more like a beloved wife,
Yes, responding to persuasion, not command.
which implies you can't just bully your subconscious into giving you what you want, right?
Yeah.
So how do you persuade it rather than command it? What does that look like?
That's a great question. It points towards building a harmonious relationship, treating your subconscious with understanding. Persuasion means gentle, consistent impression, focusing on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, like we said. It's not about forceful mental effort, but more a relaxed, trusting feeling state. That gentle persistence is what integrates the desire. It leads to that transformation from within.
It all comes back to that internal state.
Exactly, which is summed up beautifully by those phrases. As within, so without. And nothing comes from without. All things come from within, from the subconscious.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. This next part felt really interesting, challenging that idea about needing 100% belief in affirmations. The sources suggest forcing belief might not actually be helpful. That's quite a reframe.
It is, yeah, a really crucial one. If you think about it, the idea presented is that our psyche isn't just wired to get what we want. It seems more geared towards getting what we believe deep down we deserve.
Ah, okay. That adds another layer entirely. Which raises a big question then. How do you make an affirmation feel true, feel real, especially if it hasn't happened yet, without feeling like you're just lying to yourself, like gaslighting yourself?
Exactly. Because just repeating, say, I am wealthy, when your bank account screams otherwise can create huge internal resistance. It feels false. So the clever shift the sources suggest is using phrases built around gratitude for your capacity.
Gratitude for your capacity. How does that work?
Well, instead of forcing, I have all the money I desire, which might feel like a total lie.
Yeah, jarring.
Right. You could try something like, I am grateful I have the capacity to resource my own abundance. See the difference.
Okay. So focusing on potential rather than current state.
Exactly. Or for relationships, instead of I am in a perfect loving relationship, maybe I am grateful I have the capacity to be in a loving relationship.
I see. It feels softer somehow, more believable.
Yeah. Or even with skills. If I'm amazing with numbers, feels like a huge stretch. Try, I am grateful for my capacity with numbers. It anchors the statement in a present truth. You do have the capacity, even if it's underdeveloped.
That feels much more doable, less confrontational with your current reality. Why does this work better, according to the sources? What's the mechanism?
Well, the gratitude part is key. It subtly shifts that underlying belief about what you deserve, like we mentioned. It softens resistance, opens up your energy. And focusing on capacity makes the statement feel active, like you're building on something real that exists now. Gratitude then acts like a magnet, drawing the fuller expression towards you.
That makes a lot of sense. And it ties right into that crucial distinction they make between healthy reframing and, well, harmful self-gaslighting.
Absolutely. They're very clear on this. Reframing is powerful. It's about consciously choosing the best, most empowering story for yourself, adjusting your thoughts and feelings to align with that better reality. Gaslighting, on the other hand, is repeatedly telling yourself something that deep down you feel is false. And the sources warn this can cause a kind of mental breakdown in your internal system.
Like teaching yourself not to trust your own gut feelings about what's true.
Which would make manifesting anything harder, surely, if your internal compass is all messed up.
Definitely. It hinders future progress because you're confusing your own system. There's that great analogy one source used, the 3 stone cutters.
Oh, yeah, tell us that one.
So 3 guys are cutting stone. You ask the first what he's doing. He says, I'm shipping stone. Ask the second. He says, I'm earning a living. Ask the third. He looks up and says, I am building a cathedral.
That third guy is reframing. He's choosing the biggest, most inspiring, truthful narrative for his work. Gaslighting would be if he was building a cathedral but kept telling himself, nah, it's just a tiny shed. He'd be denying the greater truth.
Got it. Reframing elevates. Gaslighting diminishes. So how do we spot when we might be doing that to ourselves? Using coping mechanisms instead of genuine reframing. The sources gave some pretty specific examples, did they? Red flags.
They did, and yeah, some might hit close to home for listeners. Things like calling an abusive relationship karma or blaming the stars instead of maybe looking at the need to heal underlying attachment wounds.
Right. Externalizing instead of looking inward.
Exactly. Or maybe claiming you're just too attractive and that's why relationships fail, rather than doing some self-reflection. Or sticking in a job where you're underpaid or bullied and telling yourself it's just a learning opportunity, when maybe the real message is, hey, you need stronger boundaries.
Okay, I can see that pattern.
Then there's the whole good vibes only thing. The sources suggest that can sometimes come from childhoods where it wasn't safe to show difficult emotions, so it becomes a defense mechanism, shutting down real feelings.
That's insightful.
Or even that phrase, I'm perfect just the way I am. While self-acceptance is vital, they suggest it can sometimes be used to dismiss any need for growth or change, which isn't really helpful either.
So these aren't just harmless little white lies to ourselves. They actually block the signals we need for growth.
That's the argument, yeah.
Yeah.
They essentially mute the feedback loop. You stop hearing those invitations to evolve from your own intuition, your unconscious. It's like putting in earplugs when your deeper self is trying to tell you something important.
Wow. Okay, so that's the act of self-deception.
Mhm.
But the sources also mentioned a quieter, more passive kind of self-lying, just not admitting what you truly desire, often because of fear.
Yes, exactly. And this one can be sneaky because it doesn't always feel like lying. It's more about suppression, often rooted in fear of loss or fear of the disruption pursuing the desire might cause, like staying in a relationship that's maybe gone cold, no intimacy just for the sake of stability or the shared social life, without ever really admitting, even to yourself, I deeply want passion or I want connection.
The unspoken longings.
Precisely. Or maybe someone has a deep secret dream like studying art in Florence. That example was used, but they never pursue it, never even fully admit they want it because they're afraid of family disapproval or upsetting the status quo.
So the desire gets buried.
Yeah. And the sources argued this is really dangerous territory because, get this, something like 90% of manifestation is thought to happen at the unconscious level.
90%. Wow, that's huge.
It's a staggering figure, and it connects to that quote paraphrased from the Gospel of Thomas. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you.
That's pretty intense.
It really is. The implication is, if you don't consciously acknowledge and work with those deep desires, your unconscious will still try to manifest them anyway. But it might do it in really chaotic, destructive ways.
Like how?
Well, that's where you might see things like sudden affairs blowing up those stable but loveless marriages, or someone subconsciously sabotaging their perfectly good job because their unacknowledged passions say competitive bodybuilding is screaming for expression. The unconscious finds an outlet, but maybe not the one you'd consciously choose.
Okay, that's a serious warning.
Mhm.
So how do we avoid that kind of chaos? How do we work with that powerful unconscious drive instead of letting it explode?
Well, the starting point, according to these sources, is accepting that the system is always right, meaning those deep desires bubbling up, they aren't wrong, they're valid signals.
No judgment on the desire itself.
Exactly. Don't pathologize your wants. Think of your conscious mind like a surfer. The waves are your unconscious drives, these powerful energies. Your job isn't to wish the waves away or try to flatten the ocean. Your job is to learn to ride those waves, to channel that energy constructively.
I like that image, surfing the unconscious. So practically, that means using affirmations or statements that feel completely 100% believable right now.
Yes. And that's not about thinking small. It's about finding the statement that's absolutely true for you today, but serves as a solid stepping stone towards that bigger dream.
Okay, and how do we test that? How do we know if it's truly 100% believable?
They suggest a simple 100% true test. Close your eyes, say the statement aloud or in your head, and really feel into your body, your gut especially. Is there any resistance? Any little flicker of, not quite? Any tightness or contraction? If yes, you risk self-gaslighting.
Even a tiny bit of doubt means it's not the right one for this method.
For this specific approach of building from truth, yes. The aim is zero resistance. Find something you genuinely believe, 100%, no complications. Maybe it's simple, I have kind eyes, or I'm a loyal friend. Start there. Anchor in that solid truth. Or, like we said before, reframe the bigger goal until it feels totally believable now. Not I'm a millionaire, but maybe I believe myself capable of earning significant wealth. Or I'm learning to love myself more each day instead of forcing I love myself completely. Find that rock solid step you can stand on right now.
Because that allows your whole system, mind, body, energy, to align with truth. And when you align with truth, your energy literally changes.
That's the idea. Your vibration, your energy field, it shifts. And when that shifts, you naturally start attracting different things, different situations, people, opportunities. It's like tuning a radio dial to a clearer station. You're building from truth, not from a lie. And that can even help rewrite old patterns, old beliefs from childhood.
Building from truth, that feels really core. Okay, so once we have that foundation, honesty, believability, what are some of the actual methods the sources suggest for impressing these believable ideas onto the subconscious? You mentioned sleep and prayer earlier.
Right, the practical tools. Yes, sleep is described as a key gateway, the natural door into the subconscious. The idea is to drift off while feeling the wish already fulfilled. That last waking feeling dominates your sleep state and impresses the subconscious.
Using that transition state.
Exactly. And prayer, in this context, isn't seen as asking, but more like inducing an illusion of sleep, a receptive state. You believe it's already done, yield to the feeling, get passive and receptive.
Okay, what else?
Well, a very popular technique mentioned is looping audio affirmations. You record yourself saying your short present tense affirmations.
The believable ones.
Yes, the believable ones. And you play that loop maybe while doing chores, driving, or even quietly while you sleep.
Sort of drilling it in, bypassing the conscious critic?
That's the aim, yeah, to get past the part of your mind that might argue. Another classic is just writing them down over and over, filling journal pages daily.
Repetition.
Also, music. Listening to songs whose lyrics really capture the feeling or outcome you desire. Music hits the subconscious pretty directly.
Oh, I can totally see that. Getting a song stuck in your head that makes you feel good or ambitious.
For sure. And then there are symbolic acts. Using physical things as anchors. The famous example is Jim Carrey writing himself that fake check for $10 million way before he made it big.
Right, the physical representation.
It makes it feel more tangible, more real.
So lots of ways to impress the idea.
Yeah.
But surely people make mistakes, right? Even using these techniques. The sources mention some common pitfalls.
Oh, absolutely. Two big ones really stand out in the material. The first is getting stuck in the 3D.
Stuck in the 3D, what's that mean?
It means being hyper-focused on your current physical reality, constantly looking around for proof, asking, is it here yet? Did it work? The problem, according to the sources, is that this constant looking for external evidence reinforces the feeling of lack. You're basically telling your subconscious it's not here, which pushes it further away, like digging up a seed every day to see if it's growing.
Okay. Counterintuitive, but it makes sense energetically. You're focusing on the absence.
Exactly. The second major pitfall is simply not truly believing deep down that it's possible for you. This often goes back to those deep-seated limiting beliefs, maybe from childhood, trauma, or just not having seen examples of what you desire being possible for someone like you.
Which connects back to that idea of needing to do some unlearning or shadow work.
Absolutely. That shadow work facing and integrating those hidden beliefs like I'm not worthy or good things don't happen to me can be essential, because until you address that underlying feeling, affirmations might just bounce off. Affirmations can be part of that shadow work, though. Repeating, I am worthy or I deserve good things helps rewrite those old scripts.
Okay.
And this all ties into the law of assumption. The idea that what you assume deep down to be true about yourself and the world tends to become your reality.
Yeah.
Your subconscious works 24/7 to validate your core assumptions. So if you assume life is hard, it will filter reality and guide your actions to make life hard, even leading to self-sabotage.
Wow. That's a powerful and slightly scary feedback loop. And the point about trauma is key. It's not your fault. But shifting the mindset resulting from it becomes your task if you want change.
Precisely. The trauma wasn't your fault, but carrying the assumption it defines your future forever is something you can work on changing. And these tools can support that. You don't need to be fully healed to start either. Using believable affirmations consistently is part of the healing. But yeah, realistically, someone with deeper wounds might need more time and patience to see shifts. It's often a gradual process.
That's a really important perspective. It's a journey. Okay, so let's say you're doing the work, using believable affirmations, avoiding the pitfalls. What happens when you actually achieve a goal? Do you just stop the affirmation?
Good question. The sources suggest, generally, once the reality has shifted, you might not need that exact same affirmation anymore. It's done. But, and this is important if you notice old limiting beliefs creeping back later, which can definitely happen.
We're human.
Exactly. Then yeah, it's probably wise to revisit those affirmations or find new ones to maintain that new reality. Like tending a garden, you have to weed it sometimes.
Maintenance. Makes sense.
But what's really emphasized as crucial once a goal is achieved is profound gratitude.
Gratitude again.
Yes. The idea is that the universe, or spirit, or however you frame it, responds really well to genuine appreciation, like how you feel when someone gives you a truly heartfelt thank you.
So gratitude keeps the positive energy flowing.
That seems to be the concept. Expressing thanks, verbally, or just feeling it for blessings big and small, opens the door for more. And it's not just saying thanks, it's living joyfully, appreciating beauty, being in nature. These are all seen as ways of expressing that gratitude energetically.
Living thankfully. I like that. Now, this whole conversation raises a really important and potentially sensitive point. What about individuals dealing with mental illness? How should they approach these ideas? Is it helpful? Risky? What do the sources say?
That's a critical question, and one source actually addressed it directly, drawing from personal experience with depression, anxiety, PTSD. The strong message was that manifestation practices can be a powerful healer. But, and this is a huge but GT, it's absolutely not presented as a replacement for professional help. Therapy, medication, whatever is needed, it's framed as supportive, not substitutionary. Like magic in the mundane, you need both the practical support and the mindset work.
Okay, so a supportive tool, not a magic bullet cure.
Precisely. The argument is that consciously working to reprogram those habitual negative thought patterns can significantly aid the healing journey. For someone really struggling, say, with deep depression, consistently using even very simple, believable affirmations like, I'm grateful for this breath, I'm capable of feeling calm, maybe even just, I am willing to feel better, can be vital.
Why vital?
Because it actively counters the negative mental loops that are so common in depression or anxiety. It helps you consciously create new neural pathways, steering away from those deep, automatic negative grooves that feel so overwhelming.
Like gently, persistently redirecting your thoughts onto a slightly better track.
Exactly. It takes consistency, maybe more patience when dealing with mental health challenges, but it's positioned as a valid tool to support well-being alongside conventional treatment.
That's a really helpful context, thank you. We have covered so much today.
Yeah.
From the core ideas to the methods, the pitfalls, the nuances. What's the big picture takeaway for you, for our listener?
Well, it really feels like this deep dive shows that manifestation, stripped of all the, Instagram hype,
Yeah.
it's actually presented as a pretty profound self-driven process. It requires this surprising level of radical honesty with yourself, honesty about what you really want, and maybe even more crucially, what you genuinely believe you deserve.
And it seems so much about avoiding those traps, like forcing belief or gaslighting yourself, and instead finding affirmations that feel genuinely true and believable for you right now.
Absolutely. If you pull all these threads together, the core message seems to be your internal state, your mindset is creative, and consistently managing that mindset is key. Understanding that difference between healthy reframing, like the guy building the cathedral, and harmful gaslighting is just vital.
Yeah.
Getting honest about your desires and your starting point lets you shift that internal script, and that internal shift is what starts inviting different realities.
Yeah, it feels like we learned you don't have to pretend so hard.
Yeah.
You don't have to force an untrue reality onto yourself. That seems like a huge misconception.
Totally.
It's more about finding that kernel of absolute truth within you already, anchoring there, embracing gratitude for what is true now, for your capacities, and letting your whole system, your energy, align with that.
Yeah.
The real secret maybe isn't about getting stuff, but about becoming the person for whom that desired life is just natural. The internal shift comes first, always.
Becoming the person. Yeah, I think that really captures it. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to play with.
Go for it.
What if you pick just one area of your life right now where you feel a bit stuck? Just one. And instead of focusing only on the big, distant outcome, what if for the next few weeks you just focused on what am I genuinely grateful I have the capacity for in this area? Or what's something related to this that I believe about myself 100% right now? Just try that subtle shift, anchor in believable truth and gratitude for capacity. And then just observe. See if that small internal adjustment starts to, ripple outwards in surprising ways.